Hi, welcome to another review by Pishog. I did a review on the Hollow series by Kim Harrison, books 1 to 8, and the link to that review is down below. And this review is on book 10, which I just read, and that was just out in February. But book 9, which was out last February, I never did a review on. So I'm just going to chat about that as well today. So Pale Demon and A Perfect Blood, books 9 and 10 in the Hollow series by Kim Harrison. I'll start off with kind of like a short spoiler-free review. I have to say I really enjoy these two books. The series was kind of going downhill a little bit, maybe from like books 6, 7 and 8. Just the overall plot of the series wasn't as interesting and it was kind of going nowhere. But then book 9 came and it was just brilliant. Like, the author said it was her favourite in the series. And yeah, maybe after 1, or no, yeah, maybe 9 was my favourite as well. It was a breath of fresh air because it was really new. It wasn't in the church and in the same place. They were on like a road trip. And I just have a soft spot now for Trent and Rachel. I always love those kind of couples or twosomes that start out not really liking each other and slowly start to build up some friendship or some affection and concern for each other, and I just love that. And Trent and Rachel, they came a milestone in Pale Demon, really. And I've really started to like Al, and Al was great as well in book 9, Pale Demon. And you know, the road trip was great and it was funny and exciting. And it was so long, but it was brilliant because like a lot happened, and it was just exciting from beginning to end. And there was big changes too. You know, it kept changing, which I really loved. And the Ivy Rachel relationship wasn't as annoying in this book, and Jenks was good too. Yeah, I really enjoyed book 9. There was a little bit of like, I want something else to happen in the end, which didn't. So then I was like, okay, we'll wait till the next book. And then book 10, A Perfect Blood, came. And again, it was an excellent, excellent book. I don't think it changed up as much as Pale Demon. Like in Pale Demon, there was big chunks of different scenes and exciting scenes. In A Perfect Blood, it was all kind of one. Maybe a little bit of a change in the middle, but it was still kind of just a really cohesive plot. In some ways that's good, in some ways I prefer it the way it was in Pale Demon, but I really loved this book too. Like, the quality of the books, you know, went down a little bit, but they're way back up there again. So Perfect Blood was great. Some relationships I wanted to develop further and they didn't for me, so I was just frustrated by the end of it. And cause especially since we've waited a year for the next book, and that's long, like, so I kind of wanted more to progress in relationship wise in the book. But besides that, it was brilliant, and the storyline was really interesting, and I'm kind of loving now Rachel and her demon side. She's kind of embracing, I don't know if embracing is the right word, but she's admitted it, she's a demon and people have to deal with it, and there's something in there for everyone, and I cannot wait for next February again for the next one. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so now a spoiler review. If you haven't read the books, I suggest you switch off now. Okay, so the Trent and Rachel relationship. Yes, I can't remember what book where I started feeling like, ooh, I'd love if they got together. But it was amped up in book 9. I don't know, like, they have this antagonistic thing between them, but I just love their scenes where they're just getting along, and you know, they finally trust each other. By book 10, Rachel trusts Trent, and apparently Trent trusted Rachel since they were at camp together. And I love that they have that history together too. They were even better in book 10. They just had the best scenes together. I loved their scenes. And they have a really nice friendship by the end of it. I do think Trent is a funny character. He's so stoic in a way, and he has this veneer and he doesn't want anyone to see his true emotions. Sometimes Rachel gets a glimpse, but most of the time she doesn't. But she's really good at reading his like non-verbals, and Kim Harrison gives you a lot just from one look or one action. And then Rachel, she's so open about everything, so they're kind of like opposites that way with their emotions. But the thing I was so frustrated with was we had all that build up in book 9, and I thought, okay, maybe half of book 10 would be devoted to their build up of their relationship, and then they could finally get together. And then after a while I was like, yeah, I don't see them getting together sometime soon, seriously. So I'd settle for a hug. I was like, yeah, I'd settle for a hug, but no, we didn't even get that. So the relationship now is going very slowly. I mean, I wanted them to get together so badly, and it just didn't happen. And we have to wait a year now to see whether they do in the next book. But yeah, Trent does these really subtle things where you have to read into them. You can't just take them for what they are. Like, he gave her all those spells, and he gave her the ring, and he ran off, and you could tell that was a big move for him. And yeah, I love all those little subtle things. And Al, every time she's with Trent, I'm like, oh, I love her and Trent. Then when she's with Al, I really like Al and Rachel, especially in the 9th book. He was so likeable in the 9th book, I thought. Like, he really took care of her, and he was probably devastated when he thought she died. And yeah, they kind of have this kind of like, she's not like crazy about him, but they have this like relationship going where she's not terrified of him or afraid of him all the time. They kind of get along now. The end of the 10th book was quite strange. It was very abrupt a little bit, but overall I really enjoyed the storyline. Rachel's blood, and she got kidnapped, and it was all very exciting. I was really glad in the 9th book, Pale Demon, when Ivy, finally let Rachel go. I still have a lot of lingering questions about the 10th book. Like, can Trent read Rachel's mind? There was a kind of reference to that. What did he really want to tell her in the elevator? Are we going to find that out? I can't wait to see where the story goes. And the next book's called Ever After, which is out next year. And someone said it's going to be all based in the Ever After. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, it should be good. And I would love to see if Rachel get pregnant in this series, particularly since she's practically the only female and they need new demons. But the author said that's not going to happen in the series, which is kind of like an awe, but okay. Anyway, there's great relationships in this series, and Rachel is getting likeable again. But let me know what you thought of these 2 books, whether you loved them or not. And that's that. So thank you for watching the review today, and I hope you tune in next time.